Hi, this is Ken Wegeler with Chandler Concrete. Today we'll be talking about the Backing Safety Program. This is a customized vehicle backing program by Chandler Concrete, the National Ready Mix Concrete Association, and information from the Virginia Department of Labor and Industry. A deadly statistic. Half of all fatalities involving construction equipment occur while the equipment is backing, often involving a truck backing up into a worker or another vehicle. The NRMCA provides tips for preventing backing accidents in the ready-mix industry. Tip number 1, whenever possible, don't back up. As you approach the job site, see if you can pull forward or alongside without having to back up altogether. Tip number 2, plan ahead. The best time for spotting backing hazards is when the driver arrives at the site and is still facing forward. Tip number 3, make absolutely sure that there are no hazards. Get out and look. Get out and look, looking up. Walk the delivery site. Check for overhead power lines, tree limbs, building overhangs, awnings, and other overhead obstructions. Get out and look, looking down. As you walk the delivery site, look for loose earth, stump holes, open excavations, hidden hazards, septic tanks, and other underground voids. Look all around. When you get out and look for tools, building materials, and any other objects that are in the way. Contractor, customer vehicles, these types of things are often close to the job site and are difficult to avoid. Ask them to move those vehicles and equipment before you proceed. Tip number 4, use a spotter anytime you back up. Not only is it company policy, but it's also state law in the state of Virginia. Ensure the spotter knows what to look for. Make sure they know the overhead clearance on the tags, looking for train and trip hazards, watching out for the chute and the rear wheels, and they need to maintain constant contact visually with the driver. If you as the driver lose sight of the contractor or the spotter, stop. Use only one spotter. If 2 people are giving you signals, stop and explain to the foreman he must designate only one spotter. Anyone, though, can yell stop. The spotter should never get between the rear of the mixer and other object to avoid crushing. Continuously check ground conditions to avoid slipping and falling while walking backwards. The spotter and the driver must agree on how close the rear of the truck should be from an object. When in doubt, get out and look. If a driver has no choice but to back without a spotter, like down a long driveway, do not deploy extension chutes until near the pour. Turn the chute to a location visible to the driver. Stop and walk the area behind the truck as many times as necessary. Turn on your emergency flashers and take your time. Getting in a hurry endangers you and those around you. Tip number 5, the spotter signals must be made by hand, not by shouting instructions. You can give them the Job Safe brochure, which includes the spotter signals that are recognized by the National Ready Mix Association. Regardless of what hand signals they use, make sure that those signals are clear and understood by both the spotter and the driver. Here's an example of proper hand signals. In this illustration, the spotter is signaling the driver to back slowly and steer the rear of the truck to the right. In this situation, you can see that the spotter is distracted. They're focusing on the phone conversation and not focusing on the truck. In these types of situations, stop the vehicle. Make sure that you have the spotter's full attention. Poor communication, mixed signals, inattention. These can get us ejected from the game. Tip number 6, continuously check all mirrors while backing. Keep your mirrors clean and properly adjusted. Tip number 7, back slowly while continuously looking and listening for signs of trouble. Keep your windows open. Minimize distraction. Don't look at the phone. Don't reach for cigarettes or drinks. Keep off the radio. Your job while you're backing is to follow the spotter. Tip number 8, avoid backing into traffic. However, if you must back into traffic, use a spotter. Fight the urge to rush. If unsure, stop. When you're at the plant, back into assigned parking spots at the plant so you can pull out into the plant traffic pattern versus backing. Tip number 9, whenever you are in doubt about what is behind you, stop. When in doubt, stop. Tip number 10, pay particular attention to where people are. Workers and bystanders are not always where you expect them to be, and they often act unpredictably. Around university campuses and other office buildings and so forth, pedestrians don't always pay attention to what they're doing or where they're going. Pay particular attention to where people are, especially children. When making delivery to residential areas, watch out for children. They love the big trucks and can dart out behind you at any time. Expect it, anticipate it, protect them and yourself. Tip number 11, back cautiously to pump trucks. When backing toward a pump, rely on your spotter and proceed slowly. Never let anyone between your truck and the pump hopper. Also, make sure that you can see the chute or ensure that the chute is under the direct control of the spotter. Make sure your equipment is working properly. Make sure your backup alarm's working. The alarm must be louder than the other sounds in the immediate work area. If the backup alarm is not working, make sure that the spotter is aware of the problem and they alert other personnel in the area to stay out from behind your vehicle as you back up. When you return back to the plant, make sure that it is corrected immediately and noted it on your pre-trip, post-trip inspection sheet. Front discharge mixers have special considerations. Contractors typically help mixer drivers pulling up to the pour, but don't offer much help when it's time to leave. Drivers may have to do a multiple truck walk around when they're delivering to make sure that the area is safe as they back up. This includes contractor vehicles, pedestrian traffic, as well as other vehicle traffic in the area. Don't get a false sense of security from a spotter you trust. Also be aware that inexperienced spotters such as homeowners may not know what to watch out for, such as the tag axles, drop axles, the chute, the rear wheels, the front wheels, and so forth. If your truck is equipped with a backup camera, don't rely solely on the backup camera. It only gives you a two-dimensional view of what's behind you. You must rely on a spotter. Also, don't get a false sense of security being familiar with a location or a place. We often have a lot of incidents related to backing on our own yards. To summarize, don't back up whenever possible. Plan ahead. Look for backing hazards when you arrive at the site and or are still facing forward. Get out and look. Get out and look. Walk the delivery site. Use a spotter whenever you have to back up and insist on proper hand signals and arm signals. Number 5, the spotter must signal by hand, not shouting instructions. 6, continuously check all mirrors while backing on both sides of the vehicle. Back slowly while continuously looking and listening for signs of trouble. Number 8, avoid backing into traffic. Number 9, when in doubt, stop. Number 10, watch for people working on or crossing through the job site. And number 11, use extra caution backing up to pump trucks. We'd like to thank the NRMC Safety Task Group, which includes Terry Jones, Bill Shipe, Doug Rexroad, Bob McClanahan, Tim Kozlik, and Doug Rigsby. On behalf of Chandler Concrete, this is Ken Wegerly saying thank you and back up safely.